Hello and welcome to another Division video. In this video I'll present you a really awesome build you can use for running the legendary mission solo or even farming in resistance or here in the dark zone. It works as well, and yes, for some of you this build might be even better than my classic tactician build. And why? Yes, you see it already. It's because of the green bar above the health bar, because of the overheal, and I think you already know what kind of build it is. And yes, it is kinda nomad build, but no, don't stop the movie now or the video. It's not the same. I posted already the classic nomad build. It's a kinda skill nomad build, and I can really say I tested this build now out over the last 2 weeks. It works really well. And as I said, for some of you it might be even better than the tactician build. So if you struggle sometimes with the grenades or whatever, with the survivability of the tactician build, then I can definitely recommend you give this build a try. It's really awesome to use in my opinion. But for the moment, let's get right into the build so I can show you the stats. But just for be sure, I don't go in depth as with my tactician build, because you will see there are almost the same stats in here, and so that's why if you're interested in the thinking behind, then just watch my tactician build and you will see the details there. So I just go quickly over the stats here that you can see how I build it, and at the end of the video you will see a little gameplay where I was using exactly this setup in WarrenGate Legendary, and you can see there the final part from the Valve section. So it's a little bit more than the halfway done on the mission. You don't have to watch the full run there. But let's get right into the build now. As you see here, 5 pieces of Nomad with the chest which we start. It's rolled on health, kill haste and ammo capacity. Of course, every gear piece is rolled into electronics. You have an option here as well. Instead of health, if you feel comfortable enough, you can roll this into enemy armor damage. But because I was testing this setup out in farming resistance as well, up to level 15, I really prefer to have a little bit more survivability, especially because of the wave 8 with the many shotgunners where you have to go to the computer, the data breach wave, and yeah, that's why I prefer to have more health on this one. The mods I'm using on my build are always the same ones. It's electronic with kill haste, and the reason why, yeah, there are different ones compared to my tactician build, because you have, in my opinion, 2 advantages with this build and 3 disadvantages. And the disadvantages compared to the tech build are the lack of skill power, so you can't reach that high amount of skill powers with the tech build. And the second one is the skill haste. Yeah, you don't have the 2-piece bonus of tactician with 15% skill haste. And the third one, yeah, it's a matter kind the same as with the skill power. You can't get stacks as from the 4-piece bonus from tactician. But the 2 advantages that's really awesome on this build, as I mentioned at the beginning, is the survivability. So you're almost all the time on an overheal and you have the health on kill. And that makes this build really viable and awesome in my opinion. And that's why I use here skill haste, because yeah, you don't have skill haste on the gear bonuses, and to have the skills back a little bit faster because you rely on them when you use this build. That's why I really prefer here skill haste over skill power. The reason for this, so the mask, it's nothing special here as well. I rolled this into skill power, damage to elites and electronics as I mentioned before, and the same mod here as before as well. And yes, major is skill power instead of enemy armor damage, because skill power is not that high, so I can do more damage with my skills in total. The knees I'm using on this build is almost the same as on my tech build. It's rolled into skill power, electronics and damage to elites as the most important ones. And yeah, bleed and disrupt is really nice to have as well, because if you just imagine napalm legendary, you get so much, you're so much on the bleed, you get disrupted from the agents, so this is really nice to have here. The mods I'm using, again, same here, skill haste electronics and the prototype performance mod, seeker mind damage on this one here. Let's go ahead to the holster. Holster, nothing special here too. It's rolled into skill haste, so as the same as on my tactician build. And here I use sticky bomb damage mod. And yeah, the reason for sticky bomb damage and not all over the board seeker mine damage mod is really simple. When I test this build out in legendary missions, then I do have a parameter to figure out if it's good for me or not. And the parameter is if I can one-shot the healer on these missions, then the damage is enough with the sticky bomb, and otherwise it is not enough. And that's why I choose here sticky bomb damage mods, that I'm able to one-shot the healer on these missions with this build. And yes, I can say it works. So this is really a nice setup in my opinion, and as I said, if you struggle sometimes with the survivability, give this build definitely a try, it's worth doing. And yeah, an advantage as well of course is too, before you get the next global event you have higher stats on the electronic sides, and you see I reach over 10k electronics with this setup because of the higher gear stats from the classified nomad on this one. But let's go ahead to the gloves. Gloves, as you see here, again, electronics of course, enemy armor damage, skill haste, and LMG damage. Yes, I think I don't have to explain enemy armor damage and skill haste. LMG you will see when I come later to the weapons. And this is a special reason. Of course you could use here health on kill as well, but I think it's a little bit too much because you get already so much health on kill on the nomad. We can quickly have a look, but probably all of you know it already. So 2 piece 15% health on kill, and 5 piece again 10 additional ones, so you have already 25% health on kill on this gear set, which makes it really awesome. And yeah, of course 5 piece is really nice as well. You get the constant overheal from nomad, and 4 piece, which will shine especially on this build, is the fact that you have a third life here. So that's the reason for this one. Then the backpack I'm using here is inventive, and yeah, let's be honest, where you would have another better option to run inventive except on the nomad build, it's incredible here, because as I mentioned before, or I showed you before, you are almost all the time on an overheal, so you can benefit from this one really a lot, and that makes it really viable to use. And yeah, skill power, ammo capacity, nothing special here as well. And again the same mod, and here as well sticky bomb damage mods to one-shot the healer in the legendary missions. The weapons I'm using is the same as on my tech build, is ferocious, destructive and determined, so the one for dealing more damage. And yeah, I don't need the secondary, I usually have this one here equipped with my tactician build, the one here with predatory on it, but yeah, I don't need more heal on this build because I'm running the 5 piece nomad. That's why I can choose a secondary, a different one, and my preferred choice is the Big Alley. I really like this weapon. It's the main reason, of course. LMGs are really awesome to use in PVE as well. You can suppress the NPCs pretty well, and yeah, the damage is not that low with just 3k firearms, so this makes it really viable. And competent, the one you can unlock with this talent, and the third talent of course is really nice as well, the cover shooter. So this is the main reason for this weapon, but of course you can use whatever you like. You could run a warlord, Pacan, a bullfrog, a historian, a sniper, an SMG, whatever you like. So this is really another advantage of this build. You don't have to run 2 ARs, because yeah, you don't have to rely just on your skills. You can use your weapon as well on this one. Let's go ahead to the abilities. Abilities, as you see, of course, sticky bomb and seeker mine as usual with my tactician build as well, and 1.2 million. I think it's not that bad with the sticky, with just 390 skill power, so this works really well. And as I said, it's enough to one-shot the healers, so that's why I think this is a really good setup to try out. And the seeker mine, you see the damage is much lower, I would say, than the tactician build, but as you will see at the gameplay at the end, it's not that much faster compared to the tactician build, and it works pretty well. The talents to finish this off I'm using here is crit safe to increase the survivability, strike back, and of course almost a must if you run sticky and seeker is demolition expert and chain reaction. And I think the landmark is up here again, so let's go ahead. Not that we get killed at the end. So that's already about it for me for this video. I thank you really much for showing the video. I hope this was useful for you. I hope this gear or this setup works for you as well as it did for me, and you enjoy it as much as I do. And yeah, I of course look already forward to the next global event where we can farm finally for the classified tactician build. That will be really awesome. So for the moment, thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and comment down below, and enjoy the gameplay at the end. See you in the next one. Thank you. Bye bye.
Gonna sweep the AO. Just you. Let's go.
Targets in cover.
Where are your friends? You and me, buddy.
Readings indicate an echo nearby.